My wife says she doesn't want to say anything, but she tells me what to say. So, again, we just want to reiterate, we want to thank you all for being here. I don't like weddings, but this was a good day. And, it was a good ceremony, and I'm happy to be here today. It was something God brought together, and I'm thankful for that. 6 years ago, there was a handful of people on the planet that had seen me cry. My oldest daughter got married 5 years ago and maybe 10 months, and then there was a room of 200 people that saw me cry. There was no phones out that day. There was no cameras, so there was no record of it. Just a bunch of people with their mouths like this. Today there's some evil people out there with their cameras rolling because they're expecting a repeat. I prepared this little speech here. Maybe not as prepared as well as the Dublins had. We ain't singing. But I got a confession to make. I spent most of the week preparing emotionally so that I would not put on such an emotional detractor as I did at my first daughter's wedding. When I cried, I laughed at myself because that's what you're supposed to do with people who are crying. You laugh. And so I laughed at myself. And it made some terrible noises. And I was embarrassed. To not embarrass my daughter or to be the distraction tonight, I prepared this week watching all the sad movies, my favorite sad movies. Conditioning myself so that at the end of the week there wasn't even a tear. Trying to remember the movies now. The first one, Saving Private Ryan. I got to the point where I could chuckle all the way through that movie. If you guys know Maximus Aurelius, when he died, I found myself giving a fist pump. That was in Gladiator. It took him a long time to die. I knew I'd finally finished my training for tonight when I laughed out loud when that kid finally shot Old Yeller. Some of you guys are too young for that. It's a story where a kid shoots his dog. Zach, I am a little but probably emotionally, less than I was last week. I've got maybe some damage to my emotional psyche. But these are the sacrifices we're willing to do for each other in this family. I am proud of our Sherah. I don't say that lightly. Zach, she's your Sherah now too. I am proud of her. I don't want to put her on some kind of false pedestal, so I'm careful when I say that. And I don't want people to think that we take the credit for the beautiful young woman she has become. I thank God for who she is and for sharing her with us and for allowing us to be her mom and dad. I have marveled in all my daughters. God didn't give me sons. That probably would have been disastrous. He gave me daughters, and I've taken great pleasure in all of them. The thing about Sherah that I marveled in probably the most was her perseverance. And her perseverance gave me one of my greatest joys. It was evident when she was a baby, just watching her get up and try to walk. Her big sister was walking way before her, and Sherah was surprisingly uncoordinated to me. I guess there's some Sadler in her after all. But she would fall and get up and walk and fall and get up and walk. And after a week of falling, one after another, and getting up and walking, she got up and walked across the room. And we were amazed because Maria sat there watching her twin sister. She didn't try at all. But she watched Sherah crash and burn. I think I got fail, walk. And that's what she watched. She watched Sherah fail, and walk. And Maria got up the same day or the day later and got up and walked across the room. And it was amazing to us. I'm going to come back to that story in a little bit here. I'm not even reading this. I'm just kind of spitballing here. But okay, I'm on track. Her perseverance. And perseverance is a very important attribute. I coached Sherah in soccer for 13 years. I coached all of my girls for a long time. At 5 years old, she started out being one of my least talented, most uncoordinated, most gentle players on the field. Her and Sherah, they were running around, her and Maria would run around, and if one of them accidentally bumped somebody over, the other one would come to help them up. And they were terrible soccer players. For 13 years, I coached Sherah, practice after practice. Sometimes she even came to her older sister's practice. I would schedule them one after the other so I could have all my girls there and maybe make sure they got better. 13 years. Sometimes it was just me and the girls practicing, kicking the ball around in the yard or on vacation. 13 years later, I was shocked from being my least talented, most uncoordinated player on the field. 13 later, I was amazed. Just like when I was amazed when Maria got up at first time and walked across the room, I was amazed. 13 years later, here in her final year of soccer, Sherah remained one of my least talented and most uncoordinated players. But not so gentle, so I guess that was good. This is a story about perseverance. It doesn't have a Hollywood ending. Nonetheless, to be fair, Sherah in her final year, grade 12, she led her team, and don't get me wrong, she was the least talented, most uncoordinated player, but she led her team, I won't say it anymore, but she led her team in scoring because of her perseverance. She was very fast, that helped. And she didn't mind knocking people over, so that helped too. She led her team in scoring and penalties. And that would make any Canadian father very proud. And it was because of her determination and perseverance. To know what I'm talking about, if you were to watch her play rugby, it made it a little easier, because there you were allowed to knock people over. She was very fast. Her true strength became evident when she was fighting her way through a mall of girls. My girls weren't very big. They were skinny minis. I called them stick chicks. And they would be in a pack of girls, and those girls are trying to rip the ball out of their hands. Boys rugby is rough. Girls rugby is mean. And when they try to take a ball out of their hands, they get terribly mean. Sherah would put on her angry face. Now, it might be an exaggeration, but I've heard like the Inuit have like 50 different words to describe someone. Zach, you will have at least that many to describe Sherah's faces. And at least a dozen of those are her angry faces. And she would put on an angry face and fight her way through a pack of girls. And it was easy to see her determination, her perseverance. Okay, you're not supposed to talk about this. Cindy didn't get to read this because she doesn't let me say the things I want to say. And so I told her, you can't read that.